Hello once again to all we Unifier, our viewers and listeners. Una thank you. Una can tune in every week. I welcome everybody wherever you're in the world. I say hello. I say good afternoon. I say good morning. I say good evening. My name is Navalda Kaikai, and I'm the host. And una the reach we on we website. We they on several of the social media platform them. We they on Facebook. We they on LinkedIn. We they on YouTube. We they on WhatsApp. We they on TikTok. We they on any social media platform where you can think, as long as you go www.richardkonteh.com. Richard Konteh, the Konteh now with a K, www.richardkonteh.com. You go able for reach we. I invite everybody where they on here right now. The link we una use for tune in and reach we. Do ya una share that link there so that una paddy them, una friends of friends go able for join in and listen to the Unifier Dr. Richard Konteh as we did discuss matters of importance of for we country salon. Today we get with we a couple of people there in our studio. So I go first of all I go want for invite Dr. Richard Konteh for come on and just say hello to our viewers and listeners. Dr. Konteh, good afternoon, sir. Good evening, sir. Dr. Konteh, I think your mic there on mute, sir.
Good evening, Valda. Good evening, comrades. Good evening, everyone. Now, always a pleasure for me for day on this platform. I look forward to another 1 hour of exciting discussions. Thank you for having me.
Sir. Thank you. I want to also welcome a couple of other people. Them I know say we get with we, Mr. Meggeh. Mr. Meggeh, you want say hello to we viewers and listeners?
Good evening.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Meggeh. Okay, so my first question actually I want for aim to both Mr. Meggeh and Dr. Konteh. I will ask Mr. Meggeh for start, and then Dr. Konteh go round way off. So essentially, we know say waiting there now all man in mind right now we country now this voter registration. We've been done the first phase, and now we did well into the second phase. I've been just one for ask how una see that one day they go right now. Any new issues don't crop up? Any successes? Any challenges? One I don't hear it so far, Mr. Meggeh. I think your mic they're on mute, Mr. Meggeh.
Valda, thank you so much, and thank you for that question. Day, me fumble. I want to more small power waiting to go on with the registration. Me happen for flying from the United States yesterday, so I go meet up the time for I can register as a Sierra Leonean. Today I get the opportunity for go to my own constituency and for go register. I see something new. We make a little bit raise a concern. We get some people in our village, we are farmers. We don't on farm over the years, then fingerprint they disappear. In other words, when they go for put their thumbprint, then the machine is able to read them because of their hard work and agricultural work, wouldn't they do? And then they get no one for sign them in. I ask why, and they
Sorry,
say,
Mr.
well, they
Meggeh,
say
I go back you up a little bit because we lost you for a second there. You the
don't
last
register
year
2000.
that the machine not able to read them fingerprint. Okay, it looked like say we they get a little bit of connection issues with Mr. Meggeh. So maybe waiting I go do me fumble them. Let we switch over. Mr. Meggeh, you there with me?
Yes, I did.
Okay, yes. Maybe if you auto your video, it go easier for you for talk to we without
Okay.
the interruption. Thank you.
Well, take it out.
Yes. Okay, we're not hearing you. I don't know if you did talk. Well, Unifier TV and radio viewers and listeners, when they watch the Unifier Hour, unfortunately, Mr. Meggeh, we did with we today for respond to the first question we asked. He actually they reach we from Salon, and I believe say he mentioned say he go na in own constituency, in own village. So it look like say the connection not too good right now. But we go try back for Yeri from waiting he say. He starts for tell we say one thing where he find out we new when you go for go register. Now that then one day when a farmer, we don't they farm for boku years, don't they farm for long time because of the hard work we then they do, then fingerprint no easy for read, clear. So the machine not be able for read them fingerprint. If you want tell we a bit more about that one day, but the connection no give a chance. But we go try for come back to them. Let we hear what he get for see. I go turn to we the man of the hour, the unifier himself, Dr. Richard Konteh, and just ask him the same question. Dr. Konteh, we they well underway in the second phase of the voter registration. And my question is, una don't hear anything new, any successes, any new issues we don't crop up from where we start the second phase? Thank you, sir.
Yeah, thank you very much, Valda. I've been lucky for a day in the vicinity which I been get this encounter this afternoon. Myself that today I register, and after I register on the way back, stop at Kalangba, which I register. And Meggeh been get to explain to me with this experience where you get with at least one of we people them. Because of the hard work, the fingers they all get blisters. And because the fingers they all get blisters, it distorts the reading of the thumbprint because of the blisters when they get in their hand. So they're not able to match with the thumbprint we done inside the system in 2017, where this person be registered, so that the information will come up for make they're able just do the verification and then go ahead with the registration. And that's the problem. And they make several attempts to not succeed. So they escalate the issue to a more senior official of the ECSL, expecting that it will intervene, but they're not still able to do anything. They ask the man for come again. And apparently, this man, that the third day this, where they come and this same issue they happen. It's just that this person here is really resilient and he keen for register. And this just they underscore the types of small issues the way they come up. This one, well, unique in a sense, because you're not going to blame anybody particularly for that problem. But I believe, say, the officials therefore think out of the box and see reason why they find a way for make such a person register if they're able to confirm all the other attributes where the person does provide, because the person therefore provide in papa name, in mama name, in address, in telephone number if you get any, and all of those factors put together, suppose for don't help for make them move on with the process. But the person will go again tomorrow and we will monitor the process and we will see how it happen. Me own registration, been go well, and not been get any problems. But just like what happened with Meggeh, are also they monitor the process all over the country, and still they receive reports, especially with the first-time voters, or say they get difficulty for make they allow them for register. That they still insist on birth certificates when the law very clear in terms of waiting for happen in the situation wherein the person will present himself not produce an official document. They say some dignitary in the neighborhood, an imam, a counselor, a teacher, for able verify or certify, say this person here a day of a particular age. But that not happen at all, and they push away a number of first-time voters, and then a bit worrisome when you consider the fact, say, youthful population at Sierra Leone, now a huge chunk of the total voting population. You see, say, if then they refuse them the right for vote, now a big challenge. We also continue for receive complaints about machines them where not they function properly, some staff that were poorly trained. The process not they start on time and end on time in some areas, etc., etc. And we still they get the most worrisome thing that the intimidation, the arrests and detentions, especially of people them where they try for raise objections to some of the practices them where they see say they happen. For example, in a bond, one Mr. Again the mayor, they've been careful brutalize them because he report about a case where they put school picking them inside a classroom and then decide for move the machine for go register them en masse. And we just see so many similar videos where they go around on social media, including even videos where they report about registration where they go on across the border. I don't also read a letter from one of the legal luminaries where addressed to the CEC where he raised some of these issues. That is worrisome. That is worrisome, and we believe, say, the whole electoral process, the credibility, it starts with the registration process. We need a credible voters register as a first step. And so if we don't begin to sense some attempts for model up the demographics that the country for disadvantage one sector of the population, we not believe, say, that they very good for the democracy, we not believe, say, that they very good for the country, and we believe, say, the need for do something. We also know, say, a lot of delays they don't take place, especially in the first phase. We also know, say, in plenty areas, the lines they're still very long, and so many people they still not get the opportunity yet for register, and this time then give you the shortest period ever, 15 days, for register a whole chunk of people in the whole center. And then they grossly inadequate, and it will end up for disenfranchised eligible voters. So we continue for renew we appeal to the ECSL for better extend for at least another 2 weeks to allow everybody we get we eligible for register and we want for register and we present itself for register that get the opportunity for being registered.
Thank you so much, Dr. Konteh. I'll go follow up on what you just say, but as you say, we don't get Mr. Meggeh back, so I've been wanting the opportunity for finish in response to my original question. Mr. Meggeh, if you they on your mic, they on mute, so please unmute yourself.
Yes, are they on? Are they backstage?
Your mic's still muted, Mr. Meggeh.
They on now? Yeah,
Yes.
can you hear me now?
Yes, we hear you now.
Okay. Yeah, let's say with the people we encountered today, This mommy and a man, na farmer, they don't count. This na the second day when they come, when them fingerprints na they work. And the staff tell me say because them tell and say them be don't register 2018 and then give them a name, it connect na the computer, the name not come up, and then put them fingerprints, it not take because them thumbprint on wipe out. He not go to register them. Pass again for calling supervisor. When he calling supervisor, supervisor may then go and come tomorrow. Then at the third day. Now we not get time because according to the schedule on Tuesday at the last day, then people don't count 3 days now for try for register. Just because the thumbprint don't wipe off because of the agricultural practices, if they give them time, then they tell them say they're not going to register them. So there are issues like that we me see today. I see with my own eye. I even talk with the people and say, well, how can we fix this? You know, you see the person a older, a day about 50 years old. He or she is a Sierra Leonean. So not to say a doubt. I say, why don't I go enter the name back? Then if I duplicate, the machine go spit them out. They said no until they get supervisory approval. So they don't send them go twice now. Some of those things they can discourage somebody not for come back. You know. So we talk about timing, and we talk about allowing everybody when a Sierra Leonean forget the right for register. Not only that will help them for the election, but also for their own national ID. These are couples today, they were sent twice. Two tenants don't send them out for go camp for that same problem. So in terms of me, what we get me former ID and get me telephone number I will use 2018, it be easy. I give them that information, then go to the system, then pull them, they see me face, I put me thumbprint, everything goes smoothly. Then they go on election next year. Then they don't all where they work na farm with them
Thank you, Mr. Meggeh. It look like say you mistakenly mute yourself, but also the connection not too good. So I want to follow up on something where Dr. Richard Konteh, the Unifier, actually mentioned. Um, it all mentioned a whole host of problem there where we continue for C. We see them at the first phase and we don't continue for C then at the second phase. And some of them problem then they where we've been seeing at the first phase. Common sense they tell we say if small efforts no more be make, then before able for address some of them problem then they like that long lineup, that late start, that ain't not a thing we ask for address. If the one then where they in authority stand up and say, we don't tell una say at this time the registration center for open. Anybody way late go face the consequences. I guarantee say people then not before they late for can't register the voter them. The other thing, the long lineup, that is self na easy fix. Common sense they tell we say if the long lineup now because of personnel, then before don't hire more before the second phase they begin. If now because of the machine there, then we get time for fix the machine there before the second phase they begin. But we'll not see any of them thing in there. So okay, Dr. Conte mentioned say and still they try for push the idea of an extension. We definitely go address the access where more people then go able for come and register. But where we know they see the kind improvements them, at least the kind of way we think say na easy fix. How we go be assured say, even with an extension, the voter them we want for register, we eligible for be registered, go get opportunity for register. Dr. Conte, you see
The
any
reason why we they ask for the extension, now for the simple reason we don't state earlier. Some of these problems can be addressed if they want for addresser. The issues about start time and end time, the key addresser, the alpha addresser, the issue about machines where the malfunction, the key addresser by replacing the one way they malfunction. The issues about staffing can be addressed by better training and coaching of the staff. But waiting, they're not go able to address the issue of time. The time lost, they're not go able to address them. We will only remedy that situation by giving us more time. And so we are saying there is time lost, and therefore that time they need for compensate for it. Therefore, they will give more time. Secondly, we are saying 15 days per center when we don't use forget up to 2 months per center, because in the past registration they be extend after the 1 month of registration period. But now they give only 15 days for the registration, and at the same kits virtually they be used in 2018. So no magic, no day way for make the process become extra fast this time past before. So we feel say they need to give more time so that people then will get an opportunity for register, and make people also get a chance for go register in the centers of their choice.
Thank you so much, Dr. Konteh. I also want to follow up on another thing where you mentioned, especially with respect to this couple where their fingerprint don't become distorted because of the kind of work we then they do. I can imagine say no to them no more, they in that situation they. And you mentioned a need for some kind of secondary verification. So apparently there are provisions already for then kind of verification then they. But what I want to ask is, how effective is this secondary or additional verification process? Because we see somebody like Femi Claudio School send a video out where they make rounds in the social media. We in try for be this person for verify a young voter and it not being successful. So waiting at the deal with this additional verification process, how is that working?
First of all, I'm going to make it clear, say the issue where they face, or why sometimes the ECSL staff they're a bit reluctant for just they register people and that easily when they face these types of obstacles. Now because then they fear say somebody go register twice, and that they go therefore create additional problems for them, and they want to avoid duplication of entries of registration. I can understand, but we also aware say then get for do what's called a deduplication process. So if they find out say all the parameters are the same for the same person and they register twice, then go just remove the one. So the technology way that they use now, one way they allow them for do a deduplication. Here is a man and a wife. Definitely, therefore don't know say if this man have been just an attempt for beat the system, you know, okay, second day, and definitely no come a third day. That he come back a second day when he know fully well say there are policemen around, and if he be say they up to anything fraudulent and the detector, then go arrest them. I believe you know go take that risk. So it clear because this is a genuine case, and as I say, in the database where they sent from NCRA, all the personal details they did it. And the fingerprints now one of several identifiers where they inside the system. So if for whatever reason the fingerprint don't work, and I know say in 2014, 2017, when they do this process, they be actually do all the 5 fingers at the registration. So if this time you try the thumb, it not work, try the other fingers. They might just work. So you know we just insist on just the thumb, the thumb, the thumb. If the thumb not work, it not work. Try the other fingers. If that itself not work, try the other identifiers where you get inside your system. Check for the name. Check for the picture of the person. The picture where they get at the system. The same like you for able to key in the person in name, the person in village, the person in address, and all of these things, and then if you're able to bring up not just the thumbprint. Now the easiest one with the thumbprint, where the person details can come up. But I believe say the person date of birth, if you sabi am, in papa in name, in mama in name, if you put in those factors, you for still able to get the person in particulars and proceed with the registration. So I think say now the patients, now a bit more patience, now they start the need, and maybe a bit more enlightenment for understand say there are ways you can beat around this issue and not deprive this couple and many others will fall into this same category of people that are farmers where they work, and because of the blisters between 2017 and now, a lot of damage could not happen to their fingers where no go make a person from any machine reader. So just imagine how many people will be disenfranchised as a result of this. And I tell you, if these people go back to the village and tell their company and this, the other day we been get for car, just look at how no more. Say I know they go there. May they go disgrace me. I know they go there. So I think say ECSL for think out of the box and find creative ways for accommodate the poor farmers.
Thank you so much, Dr. Konteh. Indeed, Sierra Leone, we get so many issues there. We're unique to we country in terms of we birth certificates, record them, and this kind issue with the car up. So, and I think say yes, definitely, as you say, the voter registration officer them and the senior man them need for think outside the box and bring quick solutions so that we will get a fair voters registration and nobody no go be disenfranchised at the end of the process. Thank you so much, Dr. Konteh. I want to shift gears a little bit and talk about something else where they make the rounds on social media. This video where I see now a video of we very own First Lady, Her Excellency Fatima Bio, where in the video, Fatima Bio, they declare, say, a husband, the president of we country, President Mada Bio, na coup d'etat specialist. I watched the video, I watched that part there, I rewind them, and I stopped it. I don't actually complete the whole video. Because in my head, what I begin to think was waiting make it go talk to like a dawande, especially with the office where he hold, being the wife of the president of the country. And waiting at the implications for such a statement for the country as a young democracy, as well as we international relationship them with other African countries and countries around the world. Dr. Konteh.
You know, impunity. When people don't get to a level where they feel say that they are above the law, they don't get to a level where they feel say they can treat the Sierra Leonean like trash. They don't get to a stage wherein they feel say they can talk is free, so they can just say anything. But you know, God not asleep. Gradually, the facts of people, their antecedents, they come to light. And sometimes they come from weird sources, like this one. Uncalled for, unasked for, unsolicited.
Mm-hmm.
But I believe, say, this don't paint with country in a very bad light. This afternoon, somebody forwarded to me a documentary from a comedian in Nigeria. And he used this clip for ridicule the country, you know, and ridicule we entire democracy and we entire governance architecture. This is the unfortunate reality where we don't find ourselves in as Sierra Leoneans. And I not believe say we deserve it. I believe say Sierra Leoneans they deserve something better, and I not believe say staging or not staging a coup, bloodless or not bloodless. Well, I wonder waiting that lieutenant will die, you go call her. If you know been pull blood will die, because I know say in the 1992 coup, that lieutenant will die. I know say in the sequel leading to that coup, Ben Hash been die. So if that is bloodless, then I wonder which it will be bloody, you know. And I also know say in the 2000, I mean in the 1996 coup, January 16 coup, equally, I been know say they been get for fat. I don't know how they end up for sort out themselves, whether nobody not spill blood, we don't know. I mean, some of these issues, you can never be categorical about them. I mean, until they are thoroughly investigated and the facts brought to the fore, you're not going to know. But I think say it's unfortunate for make we get such a declaration from we First Lady, and I think say this country deserve an apology, and I believe say this go hurt a man in chances going forward greatly.
Okay, Dr. Konteh, I just want to make you touch a bit more on the implications of such a statement for relationships going forward with the international community. If we own sitting president in WEF able for declare say in husband as the sitting president is a coup d'etat specialist, how then they go affect relationships of Sierra Leone with the international
Valda,
community?
Valda, Valda, I refuse for talk too much on this issue because I don't want prejudice anything.
Okay.
I don't want prejudice anything. That statement is indicting in itself, and I don't want prejudice anything. So I would rather stop at saying the statement is unfortunate, the statement is reckless, and the statement is an insult to Sierra Leoneans and to our democracy and good governance architecture of the country. And I believe, say, with the minimum for a start, that we deserve an apology. And I believe, say, it's not helpful for them to make this type of pronouncements against when we address people then so carelessly. I don't think say very helpful. Sierra Leone not deserve this, and I believe say if I make the advice we revered First Lady that going forward, when they make such sensitive statements, we get far-reaching diplomatic implications, far-reaching legal implications, and far-reaching even human rights implications. I think it could be helpful if we can tone down the rhetoric a bit and be careful about the types of pronouncements that we make, especially in public, and especially when we now they say make the record here and how they share it. You know, and not to say very helpful and not to say a good, even for the person they make statements about.
Okay, thank you so much, Dr. Konteh. Okay, let's switch gears a little bit and talk about an incident where I read about na Sarah Loaded. They mention a story where it happened na Marampa Academy senior secondary school na Mashaka. Then say 280 WASCE results were seized. When I read the article, then go on for describe what in them called seized, then say the picking them go online for find out what in the results. But when they click, then I'll get response. So apparently plenty of the parents them and the students them reach out to them principal where in the article then they claim say the principal say now the Ministry of Education were headed by David Moinina Senge. Now been supposed for pay the fees for the student there for take this exam, but the fees were not paid. Now that make the students then not able to get the results. My question is, first of all, we don't know the veracity of this. I read Sierra Loaded, and I don't know how much background research and they do with and they post their article them. But I be want to ask with respect to the free quality education initiative. If we the Yeri story then like this say it was a failure on the part of the government for pay the fees for the WASCE exam, we make WAEC official they refuse for release results. Um, how is this working with this free education initiative?
You know, Valda, yes, been our position, but sometimes I for say the truth. And in this case, I go say the truth. Me not believe in that version where they present for say now government not pay for the picking then they make them withhold the results. You know, they work that way. Me don't be a minister at the Ministry of Finance at this country. I don't work with WAEC, and I don't I'll be aware of this whole structure in place even before this present time when our government they pay the exam fees for most of the public exams for WAS and Meggeh. And are also aware say when government they pay, then they pay bulk for everybody where the schools they register. So every school, and I hope so you also know, say, my family also get a school where we also they present candidates every year. The only difference, Diana, that we own a private school and this one a government school. But when it comes to public exams, whether a private or a government school, the government they assist. Now, for make them register a student for take WAS, for example, the online forms then they where you register the beginning all online. When you don't do the registration, you don't complete them, don't sort out all the requirements, then they give you a printout of the one they way don't register. And then they give you what they call a BRS, a batch registration slip for each of the beginning. That is the slip where the picking they use for go take the exam. So which means nobody not will take the exam in the first place if WAEC not don certify say government don't take responsibility for pay for this picking. Because by when it pass, it go through and ministry certify them, that is when they issue the BRS. So if this year they say that because of fees, then the first issue they come to me that exam was taken illegally. Maybe they mislead the parents. Then get the parents for belief say they were taking an exam when in reality maybe the school have even registered the beginning correctly. So me go one for be cautious now in blaming government on this particular issue. If anything, based upon the facts where I don't hear now, me go query the school administration because I believe say if they been go through the process on time, they register all the picking them, they issue the BRS for the only qualified for go seats, then no go disqualify the picking them for fees. The only time where then they refuse picking them for seats for fees now where private school will not go pay to WAEC on time the fees that we're supposed to pay. And we don't get so many cases in this country where principals then they eat school picking their money and not they register them for public exams, and we don't get those cases multiple times. However, it is also true that WAEC sometimes they withhold results. And they withhold results for different reasons. One, they withhold results if they discover, say, fraud they take place in the exam hall, malpractices that take place in the conduct of the exams. They withhold results if they find out, say, when they go check the scripts of the beginning, they see, say, they all write almost identical things where they suggest, say, some form of spying or forgery or whatever, or dictation even take place in the exam. So they must don't discover some malpractice in the conduct of the exam, where then they get the information through the spot checks, where then they make at the various centers, through the reports of the supervisors, or through what they discover from the scripts. Now make the sitting position of the pikin there, that the class, when they take the exam, all of that information is captured and sent to WAEC. So that from the sitting plan, you go know which pikin likely for able copy from which pikin. And so if you see similarities, they can suggest, say, those types of malpractice that happen. So yes, under those circumstances, and others who maybe may not aware of, or maybe work better familiar with that, then go withhold results. But for say that withhold results because government not pay, waiting for pay to WAEC, no, government not they pay by school. Say pay for some school, left some schools out. No. When government they pay for everybody. Yes, it's true that government they owe. Plenty times, government can owe WAEC, and we don't face those situations for various reasons where government they owe WAEC, but they not the owe WAEC for particular schools and not the others. Now lump sum that you don't calculate, say nine, they owe WAEC and government they pay, which they will pay over time. Yes, government can delay, and because of that, WAEC can withhold results and delay for everybody, not the release them. But they will withhold a particular school a results because government don't pay. If they withhold, then they withhold for everybody.
Okay, thank you so much, Dr. Konteh, for that clarification there. I've been just want to stay on down there a little bit because we've been hearing about a week ago, say the lecturer there na University of Salone being go on a strike for lack of pay. I wonder if you can give me some update on that one day, if that has been resolved, and whether the lecturer then don't get paid.
Well, I'll be aware of the strike, but the fine details of the current position of the strike, I don't know, because I did up country on this registration process and not follow up too closely the process. But yes, the way in which the Leone don't depreciate from 2018 to now, if you have, when APC be there, but we inherit a salary structure for the university in terrible. So during the time of the All People's Congress administration, we increased the salaries of the academic staff of the university by over 400%. And we've been get huge backlogs for pay. We thank God we'll be able to pay them all, and we're able to bring the lecturer at the standard of living to an appreciable level. We do the same for the health workers. We significantly increase the salaries of health workers by over 300%. We do the same for teachers, because when we raise the minimum wage to 500,000 the first time we do it, now it's 600,000. We do all of those things for cushion, but that is with the understanding that with 600,000 you can buy 3 bags of rice, because a bag of rice was then less than 200,000. But now, under this administration, a bag of rice now is almost 600,000, which is equal to the minimum wage. So it's killing. And so they also get a similar effect on lecturers. So if you've been the earn 5 million, 6 million, but that 6 million be able allow you for rent a decent house if you not get quarter, for pay you begin your school fees and do other meet your needs. Now that same 5 million, the real value of that 5 million don't depreciate so badly, and inflation don't get a very damning effect on that bill. So not worth anything. So really, under the prevailing circumstances, with the way in the space of 4 years, the exchange rate don't go from 7,000 to today, I hear about over 17,000. Then clearly, there is a need for make the lecturers there they revisit the situation. If not, I mean, how else can they survive? They cannot go cap in hand begging. Lecturers are respectable people, and we blame them for, say, the lower professional standards. But if you reduce the lecturer to beggars, what do you expect? So I think, say, yes, me personally believe, say, the lecturers and all workers in this country deserve a better pay, and I believe, say, government for take responsibility for the way they don't mismanage our economy. And I lament, I feel I'm way, you want the way for take action. They talk, say, they don't know it, no equity for do. If you don't know equity for do, resign. Make somebody will know waiting for do can they. If you don't know a lot of ideas on how to manage the economy, I believe that the honorable way for do for resign and move on and make somebody else will know waiting for do about the economic can they. But the trend where things they take, I believe say we are heading for 20,000 very soon, and that is terrible. And the same is true for even the price of fuel. From all indications, we will expect a fuel price increase anytime now, because the exchange rate, that one of the most powerful indicators or variables the way they inside the pricing formula for petroleum products. And so if the exchange rate don't depreciate like this, I believe say the plus 5% trigger level, they don't breach them. And therefore the OMCs will call for a variation. If they don't affect the price variation, then it will mean say the OMCs no will get the ability for import fuel. And if they don't import fuel, it will be very terrible for the country. We didn't get the queues again. So it's a very holistic issue. And I think, say, now we're talking about teachers, but it might just spread to other sectors. I believe, say, the government will be helpful if they quickly try for nip these issues in the board and try for address it. And please, let them try for do something about the value of Leone. I don't even want to comment about the fact that the Leone, the way they recycle the old currency, is very worrisome and it's scary. Now, even when you get your money at the back, they rational for you. You owe money again, and then they make people that will get money. Then they keep another house. They don't get go in the back because when you get them in the back, where you use them now, you know, but they begin rational for you. You know, those types of policies, I don't know in which economics books they read that, but it is terrible for Sierra Leone context, maybe inapplicable. And I believe say common sense for add to whatever they don't read in the textbook for making them learn how to manage the economy and make things better for the average Sierra Leone.
Thank you so much, Dr. Konteh. We're almost at the end of the show, and Mr. Meggeh don't join we back. Mr. Meggeh?
Yes, yeah.
Okay, great. I've been just want to ask you a follow-up question with something where you've been mentioned with respect to the GoCam. Um, I know say videos then don't make the rounds now social media where then they it look like say then they deliberately frustrate people them effort for register. Then they refuse for register them and they ask them for come back another time. I dey wonder um waiting exactly like a una way they on the ground so right now, waiting exactly una they able for do or suggest for address this kind go calm business, waiting exactly people then can do for change that attitude they way the voter registrants then they put on.
Well, Valda, thank you for that question. What me do today, first of all, now for admonish the registrar and say, may them look to Sierra Leone residents or citizens, may them not look to party. May them register every Sierra Leone way able for register. And the rules that want them put, some of them issue when they come into, they not be done foresee them. So then for call them, boss them, and make sure them people are then register them. And then I encourage the people and for let them come back. Make them be here, make them come back. So the solution actually na NEC or NCSL for let them revisit some of the issue here, because would I go to envision farmer finger? You know, it's only unique to the culture. Would I go to envision that? Say you fingerprint go wipe off over time, you know. But if the person where they register them, instead of understand and say, you know what's in mama, papa, una na Sierra Leonean them. Una don't give me una information, but una fingerprint not correct, but I go put una the system still. Because like doc, they say, other other factors in the way to go prove say they're a Sierra Leonean. Either the address, then village, then birth certificate, then fingerprint, then telephone number, or somebody vouch for them. But they never try to push them away. Because what me see, it look like say the register them, if the thing not correct, then they try to understand say they're not Sierra Leonean them. Then they tell them, well, it's like you're not qualified, you know, because you don't get A, B, and C. But the fact that you are Sierra Leonean, born and raised and live here, you automatically qualify and get right for vote or for register. But then they disqualify people because they don't meet their own criteria. And they don't envision their criteria. So maybe just did it today for encourage them say, una look past party, una look to Sierra Leonean. And also, una encourage the people and make them come back instead of just showing them away, you know, like say they no value. Okay, so part of the situation again, I don't tell leader, we don't tell other people them. Maybe NEC or whoever responsible go look at that issue there and say, oh, we not be envision this say we get farming culture and with people and they work with their hand, not to like a place where they work with machines, and they work with them bare hand, and over time then they wound their hand, then they bruise their hand, they destroy the print. So again, now encouragement no more and education. And let the people then look at say, this is not about party. This is about a national issue for Sierra Leoneans. The registration is not about party affiliation.
Thank you very much, Mr. Meggeh. You raised a couple of good points there. Mifambu there, if we know you good waiting, Mr. Meggeh say two things. He say the one the way they register the voter them, made the member say no to party business. Now country, now we country in citizen there where they try for register and know who that they in the country. Then una the one the way they go register for votes, una get for exercise patience. Yes, we know say it's not easy when they tell una say go come, but una exercise patience so that una go get opportunity for choose the one way una want for be una president for let things go change bye. And on that note today, I want to address my last question to Dr. Richard Konteh, where now they run for be they vie for flag bearer for the APC party. He want for be APC party flag bearer, which means to say when he win the flag bearer, he go run for be president na the country. We don't hear plenty issues where they go on na the country. A lecturer they know they get pay, teacher they know they get pay, people then they suffer. The one the way they earn minimum wage, you know, do sell for buy one bag rice. I want to ask you, Dr. Richard Konteh, wetin you go tell the one dem wey get for vote first for the flag bearer of the APC party? Wetin you go tell them wey go make them understand say na you na the only viable candidate, the only person wey able for rescue this with APC party to the point where you can assure victory for we 2023. And then also to the common man, the everyday Sierra Leonean, wey eventually get for vote June 24, 2023 for you for be president. Wetin you go assure them say you go do for change their life and make them better?
Yeah, thank you very much, Valda. You know, experience like you say, that the best teacher. And when it comes to managing the economy, you know they do them by propaganda. If you not sabi, you not sabi. If you don't do the right thing, you don't do the right thing. I remember when we came into governance in 2007, I've been there in the Ministry of Finance. In 2008, now we get the global economic crisis. We will not allow the situation to deteriorate how things don't happen like this in this country. We able to manage the economy. We able sail through the crisis. Things don't deteriorate to this level where they get. In 2014, Ebola strike. We straight away come in with appropriate economic recovery measures, where people are calling in austerity measures. We come with an austerity package, where they're basically steps where they take for ensure, say, we get prudent discipline in how we manage resources. We cut down on excessive spending, which is not necessary, and we try for manage waiting we get until we able to overcome Ebola, make we not able get ourselves in a situation like waiting we get so. And that make you see the change in terms of the exchange rate from 2007 to 2018. No, we hand over now less than 4,000. And the prices, the change in prices, not very significant from 2006 to 2007 compared to what they happen now. So, whereas we in 10 years plus a few months, now only 4,000 difference, less than 4,000 difference in the exchange rate. We don't see now at this time from 2018 to now in just 4 years, we don't get 10,000 difference. And from all indications, it will continue for us. And we don't see how prices don't quadruple in the same period. So waiting we could do when we come into governance, now for reintroduce prudent fiscal discipline, prudent economic measures. We go one, try for make sure say we stabilize the exchange rate, we stabilize the loan, and ensure say we reduce an excessive spending. You know, one of the worst things we can do, they will never do. They bloat the wage bill. You know, we be they manage a monthly wage bill of about 160 billion. The wage bill now is chasing 400 billion. But then there is no commensurate increase in revenue. How else should we say in the financer? They go for ways and means. They go for begin to go borrow from the banks. They go for decide to go print money, quantitative easing. And they not get the resources for backup. The investors will become in the mining sector, will be don't get to a level where the government will generate close to $1 billion in revenue from the mining sector alone. You know they happen now. So the resources not even there for make them able to sustain the expenditure. I know we even want for comment on the travel budget. We always see all the time where they fly, how much it cost the economy. And this is for a country where not get money. So all of these things, they get a very negative effect. When we come into power with Richard Konteh as president in June 2023, we will make sure say we put a stop to this reckless way for spend, this reckless way for manage the economy, and this bloating of the wage bill will get for curtailment. Because you know, if you not get way for finance the wage bill, this is now the current expense. You don't employ the person in an office, you don't get a salary. Recklessly, $10,000, $5,000, $6,000, just call figures. But when they all add up, it's scary. So we go streamline the wage bill significantly. Let me cut them down. But more importantly, I don't talk and repeatedly say, the private sector has to be the engine for our economic growth and prosperity. You cannot rely on just government revenue from taxation for finance the economy. No. The private sector therefore come in. And when the private sector come in and invest in the natural resources, then we'll be able to generate sufficient resources from there through royalties, through payee, through corporation tax, and other social and economic capital gains what they get from these transactions for able to sustain the economy. It's not happening now. People are running away. Investors are feeling insecure. No, but the past Christmas, anybody where they can invest under these circumstances, na briefcase investor. No serious investor, no who can put in money that this country with this type of investment climate. When I was Minister of Trade, we succeed for improve the ease of doing business to a level that we became the 6th most improved country in the world for ease of doing business. For the first time ever and only time in the history of Sierra Leone, we host in this country an international investment forum where we attract over 300 credible investors ready to come and invest in this country and help for revamp the economy. It's not happening now. But we are going to ensure that we rebrand this country again and make this country attractive again for doing business. We will ensure, say, we reduce taxes, this prohibitive tax regime. May not believe in that. We will reduce taxes, but we will broaden the tax base to be able to take people from the informal sector into the formal sector. We could make capital accessible to the small and medium businesses. We could make the financial infrastructure, the social infrastructure, the energy portfolio, such that it will allow the private sector forget what they need for make them flourish. We could make them such that business people will come into this country, invest, make money, expand their businesses, create jobs, so that Sierra Leoneans will benefit from that. So we're going to take a whole range of measures. We're going to add value to all of our resources. We're going to look at the tourism industry, for example, and try to see how we can transform the tourism industry into maybe the 2nd or 3rd highest revenue earner for this country. We'll try to make sure, say, rice, where they spend millions, over $2 to $3 million every year just for import rice. I don't say the reason why we're not able to put in place measures to ensure that within 3 to 5 years, this country will become self-sufficient in rice production. Then go on Rwanda, we can do it in Sierra Leone. So there are a whole range of economic and related measures we will take for try to stabilize the economy and give back to Sierra Leoneans the hope, say things can be better in our country and Dr. Richard Konteh can do it. So I'm saying, Sierra Leoneans, let me first of all come out and register so that on the 24th of June, we'll get the opportunity for go pay back this government for all the good or bad things what they don't do in their 5 years in governance. But more importantly, let we make sure, say, that decision we will take, the decision for send the message, say, in this country, we will not will ever reward mediocrity again in this country. Because part of the challenge what we face now, as a result of the fact, say, we don't reward mediocrity. Because if we not reward mediocrity, then maybe the current leadership structure we'll get will not forget at this country. So I decide with people, let's go for class. Let's go for finesse. Let's go for high standards. And Richard Konteh, they promise you now stringent discipline. And they lead by example. And I'm going to ensure, say, I put together a team we go deliver. A team of experienced people with a proven track record. A team involving young men, young women, determined to make a difference in this country. And together, we will move this country forward. We will make this country a country where all man will feel himself a part of the governance structure. Not a country just for the few, just for one tribe, just one set of people from one part of the country. But when in which everybody will feel himself a part of the governance infrastructure, everybody will feel so he gets a part for play for make Sierra Leone a better place. And I believe that together we can get there. God be our helper.
Thank you so much, Dr. Konteh. That was very clear. Say Dr. Konteh get very good plans, very strong plans for bring we country come back to a place where it will be a respected country around the world, but also where it will be a country where we the Sierra Leonean there we live in the country go able for manage we life and know for say when we go work waiting in a pay we would able for manage on that one day. Thank you to the to my other panelists, Mr. Meggeh. Thank you for your time. I just want to give each person 10 seconds for say a quick goodbye to we viewers and listeners. Mr. Meggeh? Okay.
Let's we'll soon again next week. Salon, we all know one. And the Unifier, we all know one.
Dr.
Yeah,
Richard
thank you,
Konteh.
Valda. Thank you, listeners. Today, now another good opportunity. Let we all come together for make Sierra Leone a better place for we all. We'll not get any other place for call home. So the only place, the land that we love, our beloved Sierra Leone. Bye-bye. Good night.
Thank you so much. Okay, listeners and viewers, when I thank you, we'll go see you again next week, same place, same time. Take
Gotcha.
care.
Mm-hmm.